know what Sony had? The Holy Trinity. Leo, Brad, and Margot. Who do you have?
Welcome to Boy Party, the podcast that tackles cinema's most legendary team-ups, films where two major stars share the screen and battle it out for screen time, top billing, the fatter paycheck, and the most acclaim. This week, we are discussing Curtis Hanson's Bad Influence. My name is Lucien and I'm joined by the worst influence in my life. It's Shane Kelly.
Good evening.
We are talking about a pretty... It's second time in 3 episodes that we're doing a movie that I picked because the poster was good.
Yeah, this is a soft movie star.
Maybe a trend we have to diverge away from. But I enjoy doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoy digging into the Spader, Lowe careers over the past few days, watching some of their stuff. I think it's
a bit more of a new research experience.
Yeah, it's a bit more exciting. Like weird actors who aren't really A-listers anymore, but are kind of knocking around. And I would say the same is true of someone like Tim Robbins that we did a few weeks ago. That can be more fun than like, here we go, we're talking about beloved Oscar-winning Helen Mirren or whatever. Like, so
because you can make sense of their choices in that they had specific targets and they're like, I'm motivated by this, I'm going to follow this.
I like these kind of like what if careers of these one-time leading men
a little bit. Yeah.
And this movie is existent I think because it's directed and written by 2 very iconic filmmakers. So I don't think it is by any means like
forgotten.
Nothing or forgotten, even though it probably should be, because I don't think it's very good. We are discussing James Spader and Rob Lowe in Bad Influence. I almost said Good Vibrations.
No,
for a second.
It is not
Good
Vibrations.
Vibrations very bad. This is a movie with the premise, what if you met a nasty guy? That's basically it. There's like very little else going on here.
What if you met a bad boy?
What if you met a bad boy? And it's literally a situation that could kind of, like, this film could be set in any environment, in any context. It just so happens that in this case, it's like a guy who works in an office. But you could make a movie about police with the same plot. You could make a movie set in the film industry with the same plot.
I mean, we did just watch Live and Die in LA, which kind of has a bit of this where the what's the lead's name?
William Peterson.
William Peterson takes on a new partner who's a bit of a baby.
Yeah.
Who's a bit of I want to do it by the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a common TV trope. But I guess the office thing makes sense because that's where all the schmucks are.
Yeah.
That's where all the harmless guys who can't stick up for themselves in a bar.
Exactly.
They work in offices.
Yeah. It's just a movie about a nerd who gets a bad influence in his life and how that situation has bad consequences.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's not very complex. It's not very interesting, but we're here to talk about it nonetheless. It is directed by Curtis Hanson, who is a major filmmaker of the 1990s and I suppose a little bit before that, a little bit after that. His biggest, most iconic films are, I suppose, the very weird duo of LA Confidential and 8 Mile. Which kind of couldn't be more different from one another.
Interesting.
But are both huge hits for him.
Yeah.
Oscar nominated and winning films, respectively, and put him on the map in a big way. Other films of his that I quite like: Wonder Boys with Michael Douglas and In Her Shoes with Cameron Diaz. Very good, both. He did The River Wild with Meryl Streep, and he made this really shitty like Tom Cruise teen sex comedy called Losing It that I watched recently as just like part of my sort of Tom Cruise.
What's he losing?
Yeah, what's he losing?
Losing
his marbles. James Spader's second film was actually Tom Cruise's first film, which is Endless Love. So it's funny that Spader and Cruise are literally start acting in movies the exact same time. And these guys are all kind of the same age. I would say Rob Lowe definitely probably thinks in the back of his mind that he could have been Tom Cruise. Like, he absolutely was in the right place at the right time.
Like, could he have been in A Few Good Men instead of Cruise?
Yes. He's done it on stage.
He's done it on stage.
Stage.
Yeah, there you go.
So you're like, he's done. He was in kind of shitty Top Gun adjacent action stuff. He could have been in Top Gun.
Yeah.
He was in
100%.
A Few Good Men on stage. He, at every stage of his career, could have probably been Tom Cruise if he was just like, if he was 10 times more charismatic and a better actor than he is, and crazier and more.
This is evidence that he doesn't have it.
No, not at all. He's also he's not done a good job of covering up his shitty personality. Like it's been clear for decades and decades that he's obviously an asshole, and like the worst cases of that coming out in the press or whatever, he's never managed to really bounce back from any of those, whereas Tom Cruise bounces back from everything. And
the man's not a rubber. Like, you throw him off a cliff, he just pops back up.
The last 20 years of Tom Cruise's life has been one big
damage control
project, and it's worked out really well, whereas like Rob Lowe is actually someone who's had to face the consequences of his actions and has ended up in the C list permanently.
Yeah, I think ultimately Rob Lowe can't fall back on the craft to just focus on and compensate with.
He's not talented enough to not be really, really, really nice to everybody and really, really professional, and he doesn't seem to be either. So maybe later in life he's...
Sorry, we're being very hard. We can be harsh on Rob Lowe. Who cares?
We'll reference some specifics
he frequents Dublin, so...
He frequents Dublin, and I wouldn't be surprised if we run into him someday.
Yeah.
He's been making a show here called The Floor, which is a Fox quiz show based on a Dutch format. Surprise, surprise. And this show is shot in Ardmore Studios in Bray.
Of course.
And he went on a podcast, might have been Conan's podcast, I can't remember. And he said something about giving out about LA unions and the regulations for shooting a show in LA. And he was like, it's so much better just doing it here in Ireland.
Yeah.
And the clip went viral, not for the Irish reason, just because it was Rob Lowe like talking shit about the unions.
Yeah.
And it was like interesting as someone who's very familiar with the ins and outs of the Irish TV industry to be like, oh yeah, like everything he's saying here is absolutely correct, but he's looking at it through this like awful anti-union
But is
perspective.
there not like reasonably strong union rules in Ireland for this kind of thing?
Not whatsoever.
No. Oh.
Ireland has good employment law relative to America.
Yeah.
But there's no unions in the Irish film and TV industry.
Sorry, I'm thinking more on the rules that you need to employ Irish people if you're shooting in Ireland kind of thing.
Well, sure, but he doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
As in the I'm not a definitive source in this. I believe that the stuff to do with the hours worked and breaks, times, and all that kind of stuff, that day-to-day admin stuff on a set, is much stricter in LA than it is here or any other country in the world.
Yeah, they can just like stay an extra hour there.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of it's much more loose and casual. Overall, people are probably getting a better work experience in general because Ireland is a better place to be an employee.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the TV industry here is like unionized in a good way, certainly. But it's interesting anyway. He does frequent Dublin, and like he's exactly the type of famous person who would be hosting a game show in 2026. Like just very, very well recognized and absolutely not anyone's favorite actor. Weird number of parallels with Alec Baldwin, who has similarly hosted a game show in the last couple of years. Similarly to Alec Baldwin, Rob Lowe had a reality show with his family called The Lowe Files. Now, it wasn't a fly on the wall, look at what they're up to thing. It was like a UFO and conspiracy theory investigation show. But it was him and his sons, and it was on the A&E network.
Okay.
And similarly to Alec Baldwin, he has been the subject of a Comedy Central roast. They did the roast of Rob Lowe in 2016, and I watched it at the time because I was a big West Wing head.
Yeah.
Me and my mother watched it. And I went back and watched some highlights the other day. Highlights of the roast of Rob Lowe include Jimmy Carr gets up and he says, Pete Davidson's here. People should stop making jokes about Pete Davidson's dad. This isn't the roast of Pete Davidson's dad. That was on September 11th. Ann Coulter was there for some reason, so everyone just got up and said horrible things about Ann Coulter. Yeah. Jimmy Carr again says, Ann Coulter, you're one of the most evil, hatchet-faced bitches alive. You could still change that, though. You could kill yourself. I mean, I don't like Jimmy Carr one bit. Those jokes are functional.
He probably would be much nicer than Ann Coulter these days.
He probably would be, yeah. The jokes aimed at Rob Lowe are very weak, and Rob Lowe just kind of sits there going like, ha, 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 at everything in a way that's really sycophantic. And
I don't know, you probably can't address Rob Lowe's crimes.
They do address his crimes. I mean, there's like dozens of jokes made about his infamous sex tape incident with a 16-year-old in a state where the age of consent was 14 at the time. So he got away with it. Not great. And
it's a bit of the old sex tapes going on in this film. We'll get
fun fact for you, that story came out while this film was in production, and Curtis Hanson had to make a decision on whether or not to keep Rob Lowe in the movie, and he said, yes, I will.
Yeah, so, like, perfect guy for it.
Perfect guy for the film. But maybe this film and Curtis Hanson are kind of directly responsible for Rob Lowe actually maintaining any kind of career.
Yeah.
Maybe if they made a decision in 1990 or 89, you know what, actually, fuck this guy, maybe he never would have come back. I don't know. But
was he in the West Wing at the stage?
No, West Wing is 99.
99.
So he gives up on film. Like prior to this, he's the first person we've ever discussed in this podcast who is a member of the quote unquote Brat Pack, which is a
Brat Pack.
Have you not heard of the Brat Pack?
I know the fucking DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire gang.
Oh, that's the Pussy Posse. That's
Pussy Posse. Yeah, it's not.
No. The Brat Pack are probably the group of actors that you and I are least likely to ever have a conversation about.
Okay.
The Brat Pack members are a intersection, concentric circles, the cast of Breakfast Club, the cast of St. Elmo's Fire, and a couple other, and the cast of the John Hughes comedies.
Okay.
So, the members of the Brat Pack are Emilio Estevez,
yep.
Anthony Michael Hall, Rob Lowe, Andrew McCarthy, who now lives in this city,
yep.
Demi Moore, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy.
Okay.
We've talked about Martin Sheen, but I don't think other than Demi Moore, there is zero chance of us ever discussing Emilio Estevez or Andrew McCarthy or Judd Nelson or Molly Ringwald on this podcast. So this is the Brat Pack, and they were the cool kids of the 1980s teen comedies.
Right.
And there was a little window of a few years where...
So what was Rob Lowe in as a teen?
So Rob Lowe's in St. Elmo's Fire,
okay.
The Outsiders, the Coppola movie with Tom Cruise, Matt Dillon, a whole bunch of others. But basically... The Estevez, Ringwald, Sheedy, Nelson are in Breakfast Club as high schoolers, and then a couple of years later they reunite to do St. Elmo's Fire as college age.
Yeah.
And St. Elmo's Fire is basically about what if the group of kids in the Breakfast Club were 4 years older, but they swap out a few, don't come back. So Ringwald's not in it, but Rob Lowe is. And it's
is it an official sequel or
no,
is it just
not remotely. It's just like a spiritual
success
reunion of several of the actors.
Sure.
It's like, let's say, and you drew a correct parallel, I think, with Rob Lowe's vibes with Zac Efron.
Oh yeah, I think they look quite
another
similar.
kind of freakishly handsome guy who's maybe actually suffered for how
being too
perfect
handsome.
his face is. Yeah. It's like if in 2014 they made a movie where Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, and Ashley Tisdale were playing like college kids.
Zac Efron just missed out on being in Spring Breakers. Like
it's not quite the same because ultimately The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire are kind of equally adult films.
Yeah.
It's not like one is for kids and one is for adults. But anyway, I don't like either of those films very much. Breakfast Club is fine. St. Elmo's Fire is quite bad. I watched it the other day. It has this insufferable theme song called St. Elmo's Fire, which you would know if you heard it. It's one of these shitty 80s, like, we're gonna live forever songs. It sucks. And a really silly film. Pretty awful characters you just don't want to watch. I do like Ali Sheedy, and I think Estevez is okay in it, but Rob Lowe's just playing like this guy who's like just like wearing crazy outfits and his hair is all long and shaggy and he's just like Mr. Cool.
Yeah.
So he was like Mr. Cool in all these teen movies, and then is the lead of Masquerade, and he's the lead of About Last Night, which is a romance with him and Demi Moore, which I did watch, which I thought was all right. That's an Edward Zwick movie. Remember, I read Edward Zwick's book.
Of course. Yeah.
The worst thing about that film is that Jim Belushi plays his best friend and is dreadful. But him and Demi Moore charismatic, and there's interesting stuff in there about people in their 20s trying to make something work long term, which I think is done quite well.
Sure.
He plays an intellectually disabled character in a film called Square Dance, which I did not check out. I can't imagine that's that great a performance. Although now I'm thinking, I think he got some sort of awards recognition. He got a Golden Globe nomination. His only Golden Globe nomination for Square Dance.
Interesting.
So I probably should have watched it.
Not someone I'd peg as someone who could do that kind of role.
No, he's not a remotely good enough actor to be doing that kind of role. He's in a Peter Bogdanovich movie called Illegally Yours, and then just after Bad Influence he does Wayne's World, and he's in Tommy Boy, and then he's in Austin Powers in kind of a cameo role, and the movie roles dry up in the 90s, and by 1999 it makes perfect sense for him to take what is essentially the lead role in The West Wing.
Yeah,
and he's very good. as Sam Seaborn, but he's not the best character on the show. And I think that Sorkin and everybody else figure out pretty quickly that he's not the best character in the show. So they make the show about 7 people instead of just about him.
Oh, were the initial pilot and episodes, he was the real lead?
You can tell a lot from the fact that the billing on the first 4 seasons of The West Wing is Rob Lowe first, everybody else alphabetical, and Martin Sheen. So the idea was that it was going to be a Rob Lowe show with a bunch of supporting characters.
Yeah.
And
so what's his title in the...
So he is the deputy, if I'm recalling correctly, he's the deputy director of communications.
Okay.
So he's working under Richard Schiff, Toby, and is sort of younger and more optimistic and represents the kind of like positive, upbeat optimism of the Clinton 90s.
Sure.
Whereas Toby is like, Jesus, this shit is... And John Spencer, obviously, is like real fucking hardened chief of staff. And then Bradley Whitford is the deputy chief of staff, and Alison Janney is the press secretary.
Yes,
that's how it starts off.
Sure,
but Rob Lowe was unhappy with being part of an ensemble, and I think realized probably that he was not anyone's favorite character on the show. Like Bradley Whitford and Richard Schiff and Alison Janney are the 3 like important heavyweights on that show. He is not. So by the end of season 4, he's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna leave.
Like, has his screen time dropped below the others?
But there's episodes where he's not doing anything. Like, there's episodes like there is with every character, but there's a lot of episodes of the first 4 seasons where Sam is just kind of faffing about in the background because it's an ensemble show interested in everybody's jobs. So they write him out of it pretty tastefully. I think the way he exits the show is quite good. Basically, a congressman gets elected and dies before getting sworn in, I think. So Sam like steps in as his replacement or something.
Okay, interesting.
So they basically turn Sam into a congressman and leaves the show. Yeah. And then they bring in Joshua Malina as his new character doing his job. And that's fine. I think The West Wing survives him not being in it. Unfortunately, it coincides with Sorkin leaving the show, so it's kind of hard to know if he was a big loss or not, because
the show which kind of dropped off anyway. Yeah.
But he comes back towards the end for a few episodes. So like he was on good terms with everybody.
Good.
And then he does a bunch of other big TV shows in the 2000s, like Brothers and Sisters, which is this kind of like, I guess like parenthoody type multi-generational family thing. And then in 2010, he joins the cast of Parks and Recreation, which almost feels like him being like, I did like being on a political show. I need to go do one of these other ones.
Yeah, it's a different type of politics. So.
Yeah, but like it's almost like he could have been on Scandal or he could have been on Parks and Rec. He wanted to do one of the big Obama era politics shows, and he got to do it. And he's really great on Parks and Rec. His character
is he a main character?
He's a main character. He becomes part of the main sort of 5 or 6 cast in the later seasons, and he's great. And he showed him and Adam Scott kind of enter the show together as a pair, but then he ends up marrying Rashida Jones. And his whole character on it is just so bubbly and sunny and positive that it's like, it's like terrifying. Like he's like,
oh, it is kind of sinister.
This is great. I love everything that it's sinister in a funny way. Where you're like, why are you so happy all the time? And his catchphrase on the show is that he puts the word, I think he puts the word literally at the start of every sentence.
Jesus Christ. That sounds like the most annoying TV show of all time.
You'd find Parks and Rec very annoying, but when I was 15, it was great. And he's really good in it. And he's in 77 episodes as Chris across 5 or 6 seasons. Then doesn't get another good show after that. There was a Sky thing he was in called Yumi and the Apocalypse, where he played a priest. Do you remember there was ads up around Galway for that on the bus stops? Of him as a priest with like a comet hitting the earth in the background. Yeah.
Was this 2014 time?
15. And then a few months after that, he's in a quickly cancelled Fox show called The Grinder, where he plays an actor who becomes a lawyer. After it's like, what if the guy who played the lawyer on TV decided to become a lawyer in real life? Boring. And French Savage is in it with him, and it's rubbish. And then he does an ITV thing. Like, he's doing weird, random TV work. And
did they ever appear in 30 Rock?
Nope, don't think so. Parks and Rec and 30 Rock did not overlap at all. Like, they were being made on opposite coasts at the same time. So if you were in one, you were never going to be in the other. Like, there's no Adam Scott in 30 Rock. There's no Aziz Ansari in 30 Rock. And similarly, there's no...
It's an LA show.
Yeah, there's no Jack McBray and... Jack McBray? What's his name? The guy who plays Kenneth on 30 Rock.
Oh, I can never remember his name.
Jack whatever the fuck. and there's no, any of them in parks.
Sure.
The most successful TV job that he has had in the last 15 years has been a 911 spin-off called 911 Lone Star.
Yeah, that is
which
him.
Is set in
Texas.
Texas. I'm trying to think, was there a specific city? Austin.
The Lone Star State.
Yeah. And the premise is that Rob Lowe's character is tasked with rebuilding the team of the Austin Fire Department after all but one of its members were killed in a freak accident, just as he had done as an FDNY captain in Manhattan following the September 11 attacks. That's a really dark place for a TV show to start in. That everyone's killed. It's like Designated Survivor. Everyone's killed and he has to rebuild it from the ground up. Like, that's such a sad...
They all went into the tunnel to catch Bane.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know who is second billed in the first season of 911 Lone Star? This is blowing my mind.
Is this a man or a woman?
A woman. This is insane information to me. Liv Tyler. What the fuck? So I'm gonna guess
she's got a bit of Rob Lowe to her.
She does have a bit of Rob Lowe to her. Too beautiful to be castable.
I think so.
You can't put her in stuff because she's like
too
doesn't
striking.
Look like a normal person. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a better actor than him.
She's good in The Leftovers.
She's great in Leftovers, but that's because she's playing like a scary.
She is doing scary,
beautiful person. My guess is going to be that her character is probably the 911 operator who films all her scenes in one room. The way that Jennifer Love Hewitt and Connie Britton have been on the main 911.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah, they just sit.
The
in
dispatchers,
one room.
yeah,
they film all their scenes in probably one day a week. But that ran from 2020 to 2025. It had a pretty good run. I watched one episode of it. I didn't like it as much as the real 911. I think the fun of the real 911 is set in LA. LA is a crazy city to be responding to 911 calls.
Yeah.
And also just the Peter Krause, Angela Bassett chemistry is what made that show work. And as soon as they killed him off, it became way less.
Which one had the bees? That's just regular 911.
Oh, regular 911.
Yeah.
I don't think Lone Star ever had like a big stunt disaster the way that.
I used to get a lot of Lone Star ads watching like American football.
Yeah, I'd say Lone Star is a little bit more red state coded.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't do the crazy gay Ryan Murphy stuff as much and is a bit more Taylor Sheridan aiming to that audience. There's another one now. There's 911 Miami or something. There's one with Chris O'Donnell that's on now. Anyway.
Right.
And you know what? If I was in like a hotel and any of those spin-offs were on, I would watch an episode. I really like that whole franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's hosting The Floor. And he was in a show with his son called Unstable on Netflix in 2023, which was cancelled after 16 episodes. Not bad.
Does he have a famous wife of sorts?
No, he doesn't. He is currently married to a woman called Cheryl Burkhoff, who, to be fair, he's been married to since the year that this film came out.
Oh, no way.
And he was a Democrat until 2006, and he's been an independent ever since.
Oh.
I think
Obama just didn't do it for him.
Yeah, I think we should talk about this film.
Yes, we rejigged this a little bit.
So James Spader's character is called Michael.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit like our friend Michael.
He does.
Looks a little bit like you. He also looks like a guy that I was in primary school with. He doesn't really look like you.
No, he has very straight hair.
He looks like a kid I was in primary school with. Independently of that, I think he is insanely attractive in this film.
Oh, yeah.
He's so handsome. James Spader in the late 80s, early 90s is so insanely attractive.
Yeah, he looks like a Disney man.
Yeah. And if he wanted to be a heartthrob for the next 20 years, he could have been.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he decided to become like a weird, creepy guy instead. But anyway, this is a weird, creepy movie. So
it is.
So he's playing alcohol Michael. Where does he work?
Just an investment bank of sorts. A bank in finance.
The valuable thing they have in his job anyway is data.
Data, yeah.
People are trying to steal each other's data all the time. Give me your data or I'll kill
He's an analyst at a financial firm or something, yeah.
And he is in a rivalry with this guy called Patterson.
Both of them are up for promotion.
Yeah, and he thinks that Patterson's stolen his data, but he doesn't want to outright accuse the guy. And
this is very minor, despite it taking up a lot of the kind of plot description.
It's crazy, I know.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend or fiance is coming in and being like, blah, 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 wedding, blah, 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 engagement. And he's like, I'm sick of listening to you. So this is a movie about how men have it so hard when the women talk to them and data gets stolen.
No, it starts off as a good talk to your mates film where Rob Lowe's like, you don't have to get married if you don't want.
Yeah. So this asshole comes along to the bar and starts assaulting him, and a mystery man shows up and saves him.
Yeah.
And that man is Rob Lowe. James Spader's character has a brother called Pismo. Played by the great Christian Clemenson.
Yeah, and Pismo was a bit of a waster because he was in jail for smoking too much weed.
Yeah, so he shows up to Michael's house and he's like, "Please give me more money." And this guy is just a guy who looks like James Spader, and nothing else going on with this actor. Like,
yeah,
he is so uninteresting. He's anonymous. This is the third most important role in the film. It should have been played by somebody with a bit of presence. The only thing this guy is going from is that he looks like he would be James Spader's brother.
Yeah.
And hilariously, we learned that this man won an Emmy Award for starring in Boston Legal with James Spader.
Yeah, they're obviously good pals.
I haven't established if he plays his brother in the show. He does not. No. He does not. But they must be good pals. So that's really funny.
The film continues. James Spader is kind of enchanted by Rob Lowe.
Yeah,
and
I wish I could be.
Oh wow, you're so confident. You scared off a scary man.
Yeah,
and he's like,
and Rob Lowe's like, "Follow me, son, and
follow me into the night."
Yeah. So they go and they rob some convenience stores.
They get into a mad bender.
Well, there's a sexual situation first.
There is. They're kind of hanging out for a while, and it's kind of revealed after a while that Rob Lowe has been filming James Spader having sex with people, and he's slowly kind of building this base of leverage to kind of blackmail him, essentially.
Yeah.
So Spader kind of becomes beholden to him and has just can't really do much, or else all this kind of stuff is going to be
There's one bit
released.
where he gets really, really drunk at a party, and then they go to rob a bunch of convenience stores, and James Spader puts on this rabbit mask that makes him
and he puts a little kazoo thing in his mouth that makes a rabbit squeaky noise.
He's running around in the background with the rabbit mask going woo, 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 woo,
it's very
while
funny.
Rob Lowe is like, "Give me all your money."
Rob Lowe was kind of consistently pretending to be other people. They rock up to a party and he's doing a French accent, and his name is
he's just a good bullshitter. But he's a horrible guy, really violent. You see him being really violent and threatening people and stuff. It
kind of shifts after a while when after the bender, when they realize that this isn't shown on screen, I believe, but throughout the night, Mr. Patterson, the work rival, is violently assaulted.
Oh yeah.
And when Spader rocks up to work the next day, he's like, everyone's gossiping about it. And he's like, "Oh no, what happened?" He goes back to Rob Lowe, and Rob Lowe says, "We beat him up."
Yeah,
the two of us
did. He has no memory of it.
Yeah. He has no memory of it because he was shit drunk.
But now he gets the promotion, so he's getting rewarded for the actions that he's been engaged in. But anyway, it's clearly trying to capture some of the weird vibes of the VHS tape movies, and James Spader is in one, Sex, Lives and Videotape. And
it's got a bit of Eyes Wide Shut. It's got a bit of... It's pre-American Psycho.
Yeah.
I think American Psycho is probably better.
American Psycho is a much better satire of yuppie culture, for sure. Yeah. And lots of stuff is. I mean, there's lots of good films about guys who work in offices who are slimy and pathetic, and this is not a particularly interesting one.
One thing about the trailer of this is that the trailer comes across as super homoerotic.
Yeah.
But this never actually gets into that. There's no thread of...
No, not at all. Because I don't think it's I think,
and it's reinforced by a random cutaway at one point to Rob Lowe having sex with a lady.
Yeah,
and then it does either a camera flip or someone moves out of the way to reveal a second woman.
Lady,
and that's
that is
whoa,
a good shot. Yeah.
What a guy.
Then he gets up and leaves the room and leaves him to it and goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, he's just
I'm bored.
Yeah,
you're right. No, it's not gay at all. You'd kind of want it to be. The poster makes it look kind of gay. And it isn't. So it's trying to cash in on some of that kind of homoeroticism in its marketing without actually committing to it. Which,
and I think that's
fair,
probably...
I don't see that if these actors doing that in 1990.
No, but I think Cruise would have, and that's maybe the difference between Cruise and Rob Lowe.
No. You'd never in your entire life will you see Tom Cruise in a sexual situation with another man in film. Never.
Oh, but Top Gun is kind of erotic in a different way.
In a completely different
But it doesn't have to be explicit. Well, it could have been in this. There's plenty of opportunities in this.
Yeah, fair.
But this doesn't even get into Top Gun smiling and winking territory.
True. Fair. Yeah, you're right. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
basically after Mr. Patterson gets beaten up, James Spader kind of flips on Rob Lowe. I was like, "Leave me alone."
Yeah.
And Rob Lowe pulls this very funny gag of
Yeah.
taking every single thing out of James Spader's house.
Yes.
And then he's like, Spader confronts like, why my stuff? Where is it? And he's like, I took it so I could show you that I could.
Yeah. He has too much time on his hands.
He does.
All he's doing is playing pranks on people all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, but then he murders a woman in the apartment.
He does.
And he videos it and shows James Spader the video really unnecessarily because the woman's body is there and he's there.
Yeah.
So he's showing him a video of something that happened about 10 minutes earlier while the evidence is literally in the room next door.
Yeah, it's a bit Lost Highway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, this is trying so hard to pull from all these cool movies in the 70s and 80s.
it is. I think it's lit pretty well. I think there's
It looks fine. Curtis Hanson's a good director.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not. It's a bad script. The debut script of David Koepp, and David Koepp is one of the most successful screenwriters in history. He is most recently written Black Bag.
Yeah.
For Steven Soderbergh last year. But David Koepp is the man who wrote Jurassic Park, Spider-Man, Mission Impossible, Death Becomes Her, War of the Worlds, Panic Room, Carlito's Way.
Yeah, I don't think it's a dreadful script. It's
I wouldn't
just,
call it dreadful, but he writes Snake Eyes for De Palma 8 years later.
Yeah.
And he clearly wanted to write a movie for Brian De Palma when he wrote this. And this is not up to the standard where a Brian De Palma would want to make it.
I also think Rob Lowe has the kind of criticism we have of Steve Carell, where this performance needs to kind of jump between building trust and also being hyper scary.
Yeah.
But you can very clearly see the switch flip.
Yes.
There's no blending of the scary mode the
Yeah.
kind of
He has two
soft mode, I
He
suppose.
has two distinct things he can do, but he can't do the gray area.
Yeah, you can't do the gray. He struggles with the gray area, and that kind of takes a bit out of it because you're never really on his side and kind of back in his message of it's a Fight Club thing as well. Where he's
it is a Fight Club.
Sorry, Fight Club is the other
version of this. Yeah,
version of this. Yeah, it's just I like the aesthetic. It should be more gay and it should be more scary.
Yeah. At least we got the poster.
We did get the poster.
The other Rob Lowe role I need to mention, he got a Golden Globe nomination for his supporting role in Behind the Candelabra, which is a really good performance.
Okay.
He is playing, because Michael Douglas is Liberace, Matt Damon is his husband, and Rob Lowe is playing their crazy gay friend, and he is excellent in that role. And that is one of the first things I saw him in, and I thought it was fantastic. So everyone should go check him out in Behind the Candelabra. Anyway.
Do we get... It's a stupid question, but is the kind of erotic thriller gone now?
Oh, it's a complicated question. There's a lot of erotic thrillers on TV. So much. Because there's stuff like Tell Me Lies. There are these shows aimed at teenagers that are full of sex and intrigue and whatever.
Yeah.
And in terms of feature films, it's when something comes around Ben Affleck, Ana de Armas, Dark Water.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh my God, this is great. We finally have an erotic thriller. I mean, the Housemaid was sold as an erotic thriller.
Yeah.
It doesn't function in that way.
It doesn't function as a thriller, I don't think. It's kind of...
Oh, the Housemaid is a thriller. It is. It ends with people locked in a room and stuff. It is. But that's the closest.
I guess Gone Girl, is a good example
Gone Girl's
of
a good example.
I just mean random Emily Ratajkowski showing up.
Yeah, it's tough because
kind of needlessly...
It's are you making it for male gratification or female gratification?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's shifted away from the male gratification side of
men
things.
are not going to the cinema to see a movie purely out of sexual perversion in this day and age.
No.
It's been all pivoted to the internet.
I think so.
To probably worse forms of perversion at home. We long for the days we're going to see.
There's no more Michael Douglas movies.
Michael Douglas movie would be the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
So it's sad. I really am sad that I didn't grow up in an era where I could go see these kinds of films.
I mean, that is true, and you get a lot of the cool De Palma stuff that. But again, it is...
Now you just get the elevated version of this, which is fucking David Fincher every 5 years.
A lot of this stuff is unpleasant, though.
I know,
and pretty disrespectful to women and misogynist, and insanely misogynistic.
A lot of these films are very misogynistic. It's tricky, and I am more interested now, I think, in seeing erotic thrillers aimed at women. But again, a lot of that stuff is getting done on TV.
Yeah.
But James Spader was definitely an actor whose career burst onto the scene as a result of kind of the erotic thrillers that he was slotted into.
Yeah.
And he's in two very, very high level prestige erotic thrillers. And I wouldn't necessarily even call one of these a thriller, but Sex, Lives and Videotape and Crash, which are respectively Soderbergh and Cronenberg's, two names that are actually quite easy to mix up if you don't think about it too hard. Soderbergh and Cronenberg's big films in that.
But does
era.
Soderbergh make the other Crash?
No.
No.
Oh God, no. That's a Paul Haggis film.
Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, that would be. You're thinking of Traffic. That's what you're thinking.
I'm thinking of Traffic. Yeah.
Spader is in both those films, which are both films where he plays a pervert, and to varying results. I found Sex, Lies, and Videotape pretty uninteresting. I mean, it's Annie McDowell. Actually, Annie McDowell is in St. Elmo's Fire. It's Annie McDowell, and he kind of rocks up to her house, and he's like, "I'm a documentary filmmaker, and my thing that I do is that I film interviews with women where I ask them questions about sex, and then I watch them afterwards, and I'm not going to do anything else. That's all I'm going to do." And I didn't think it was a particularly compelling setup, but like he's very, very cool and sexy in it. And Peter Gallagher's in it, which is a lot of fun. And then Crash is really, really good. Crash is him, but Crash is a couple of years after Bad Influence. And that's him, obviously. People have all seen Crash. He plays a guy who is in a car crash and then gets in with a gang of car crash fetishists, and like Holly Hunter and Elias Codius, and they're basically like staging car crashes to kind of so that they can have sex at the scene of the accident.
Class. And
there's a lot of weird stuff with like Rosanna Arquette with wounds and amputated limbs, and I thought it was a very, very interesting movie. I think it really does what it's trying to do very successfully, and I didn't feel that James Spader was particularly great in it. I mean, I thought he was fine. His weird energy doesn't hurt the film, but like there's probably other people who would have made it a lot more interesting. I don't know. The real star of that film is Elias Codius. And then I guess the third pillar of the James Spader erotic thriller thing is that he's in this movie Secretary in 2002 with Maggie Gyllenhaal, which is a movie about like a mentally ill woman who gets into a BDSM thing with her boss in an office, and like Maggie Gyllenhaal is like trying to kill herself at the start of the film, and then she ends up going to work for James Spader and being his secretary, and you can imagine what ensues. So James Spader's typecast very much throughout his career as guy in a weird sexual situation.
Sure.
And it's because he's like got this like pretty face, but this very intense voice.
He's got a great voice.
His vibe does function well in that setting. Completely and utterly has retired from making feature films in a way that is so interesting. And you and I both saw this clip of, or maybe I just told you about it, a clip of him talking a few weeks ago where he's being interviewed.
Oh, you told me about this.
And I'll try and sum up what he says. He basically says, all I can do now is really well-paid TV work because I have now ended up in a position in life where I cannot afford to stop earning the amount of money that I have been earning because my lifestyle is very expensive.
Yes.
There are things I have to pay for and people I have to pay for the livelihoods of, and I don't know I'm like, does he mean family members? Does he mean his assistant and his fucking publicist? I don't know. Anyway, and he's like, that I basically can never stop earning the amount of money I have been earning to this point.
Yeah.
Now, big talk for a man who hasn't had a single screen credit for 3.5 years. He clearly doesn't need money that desperately, but he is not willing to spend any time making a film for which he will not be getting paid his big TV bucks.
Yeah.
And that is an awful, awful waste of talent to let your career go in that direction. And there's some guys who, end up being on TV for their entire careers. Peter Krause, David Boreanaz, guys who I like, who are just like one show after the other. But like those guys don't have the James Spader indie movie cred. So his big 3 shows have been The Practice, followed by Boston Legal, which is the same character. They just spun him off to his own show. Boston Legal runs for exactly 100 episodes.
Syndication, baby.
Syndication reached, and then they shut it down.
Yeah.
Boston Legal, from what I've seen of it, seems like an absolute delight. It got 26 Emmy nominations. It was nominated against The West Wing, I suppose, in its later years. It ran from 2004 to 2008. And it's about a legal practice where they do things a little bit differently. And you have James Spader on one side and you have William Shatner on the other, and they're working together, but James Spader is like willing to basically break every rule to win a case, and he's the bad boy of the firm.
So many clips of it on TikTok, and it is gas.
It is gas. And every single scene is James Spader being like, that client, yeah, I slept with her once, and then the music goes like, it's insane. The show ends with James Spader and William Shatner's characters getting married to one another as some sort of like tax scam or like
Chuck and Larry.
Yeah,
like.
I think Shatner's dying of Alzheimer's, and they want him to be able to like, they want Spader to be able to like sign the documents or something.
Yeah,
crazy show. I will be watching more of it. It seems like great fun, and that wraps up in '08. He has a 20 episode arc on The Office. Like he's in.
Oh, he does.
He's
he
in
comes
an
in.
entire
Sorry, he comes
season
in to
right?
replace Steve Carell. No,
Isn't that so weird? I've never seen a single second of him on The Office.
I
should have watched an episode of that before this. So he's in like one whole season of The Office, basically. Yeah. That's crazy.
Does Steve Carell leave and come back, or is he just gone after a certain point?
No, Steve Carell leaves.
Yeah.
And doesn't come back. I think maybe they do one season with Spader, and then they just kind of accept that they can't replace him. They just make Ed Helms the lead, and then it ends. I think that's probably what happens. I've never watched The Office.
It's you must have been delighted in the production office, though, hearing, we got Spader in to replace Steve Carell. Yeah.
So his character is called Robert California. He's appointed as CEO in season 8, and then he leaves at the end of season 8 after they get bought out by a new company. He has no counterpart on the British version of the show.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a funny thing for him to do. They must have paid him well. They must have just been like, let's get a big name TV star.
They were like, they have Steve Carell's budget sitting there.
Yeah, fair. So they were probably like, we can afford to pay this guy $500,000 an episode or whatever. Yeah. And then immediately after he leaves The Office, he starts on The Blacklist. And The Blacklist came out in the autumn in 2013, where I was at the peak of my US network TV obsession.
Okay.
Which is a little brief window I had where I was just like,
and how are you watching all this? You were dodging.
Pirating them all. I literally had 2 autumns of 13 and 14 where I watched every single pilot episode of a new show on an American network channel. And they were making a lot of them back then. So
and did any of them stick?
The Blacklist
ran
for 10 years.
No, but I mean, did
I
you
stick with any of these shows? Absolutely not.
You just liked watching pilots?
No. I was planning on getting into some of them.
Yeah.
I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for 7 episodes. I watched some of them. Like, as in, they were all crap.
Yeah.
They were all crap. The Blacklist was one of the ones where I didn't go beyond the first episode. The first scene of The Blacklist is cool. James Spader is sitting on a park bench. He gets up and he walks into the FBI headquarters and he goes, "Hello, my name is Raymond Reddington. I'm here to see the FBI director." They type his name into the computer.
It's like, number one most wanted.
Sirens start blaring. The gates of the building come down and 20 guys run in and point guns at him.
Yeah.
And he gets down on his knees and puts his hands up in the air and he says,
so he's
"I
an
surrender."
informant for the entire show.
He's an informant. So he gets locked up and he's like, basically, I'm going to tell you about all the most dangerous men in the world. And every episode is going to be Raymond Reddington helps us to catch a terrible guy. So it's kind of Silence of the Lambs. But and then there's a female agent that he wants to communicate with. So it's like Silence of the Lambs with James Spader instead of Hannibal Lecter. And it runs for 218 episodes across 9 seasons.
God, the list is getting pretty sparse now.
Yeah.
There's 219 most dangerous man in the world.
It's a beige list.
Yeah.
And but like, again, that show's marketing is playing into the sexual deviancy around James Spader. I'm pretty sure this tagline of season 4 or 5 on the poster is, "Who's your daddy?" Like they're really playing up like, this guy's creepy, but he's pretty sexy too.
Yeah.
And after season 2 of Blacklist, he's actually riding so high in the public consciousness that he gets cast as Ultron in Avengers 2, which is a huge role. And Joss Whedon obviously liked him because he comes from the TV world as well.
Yeah.
But James Spader has appeared in 4 feature films in the last 20 years. And the first one is a Robert Rodriguez kids movie called Shorts that I went to see for my 12th birthday, in which he plays an evil tech CEO who is the dad of the main kid. Weird, low-budget, trashy Rodriguez movie. He's in Lincoln in 2012, for which he gets included in the SAG Ensemble nomination because he is single-card billing. He's in a Tommy Lee Jones Western called The Homesman in 2014, and then he voices Ultron in Avengers Age of Ultron. So it's been 12 years since he's appeared.
Is this really one of the weakest boy party pairings that we've gone with?
It is in terms of it's TV stars,
Yeah.
It's TV stars who had a brief moment as film stars when this movie got made.
I guess when they were movie stars, they were pretty high up the list.
Yeah, but I think it's very plausible now that you could have a TV show with the two of them reunited and most people wouldn't even know it's on.
Yeah.
Like if you got Spader and Lowe back together in some streaming show, I think it could easily be like completely non-existent and nobody would notice. And apparently he is returning as the voice of Ultron this year in the Disney Plus show Vision Quest. Hooray! So I guess he doesn't need to do a big new leading role. The
$1 million, please.
Yeah, it ends. The Blacklist ends with him being mauled by a
bull
in
a field.
And his colleagues
like
come in on a helicopter and just see his dead body lying there. And so there you go. Raymond Reddington. So box office.
The BO.
This movie is released.
We doing the year or we doing the weekend?
Do the weekend. We'll see how I get on. This movie's released in March 1990. It's released by a distributor I have never heard of called it's an redundant division of Sony Pictures called Triumph Films. For what it's worth, this film was shot... Sorry, you praised the cinematography. I should have pointed out, this film was shot by fucking Robert Elswit, who, of course, shot There Will Be Blood, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, and most recently, Ella McKay.
Oh, God. Ella McKay is an erotic thriller.
In a sense.
I think it's...
a thriller between a woman and the state that she was born in.
I think it exists in a erotic thriller world.
Yeah.
Spiritually.
You haven't seen it.
I haven't. I've seen clips of it.
This is fucking nonsense.
It feels like it could have come out when erotic thrillers were being made.
Oh, of course it does. It's a 90s throwback.
It's a 90s
That doesn't
throwback.
mean it's an erotic.
No, it doesn't.
Every film in the 90s is an erotic thriller. The Lion King, my favorite erotic thriller.
Okay.
This film cost $7 million and it made $12.6 million. Fine. It was very cheap.
What is the billing on this?
Rob Lowe, James Spader.
Is it a split card?
Nope.
No, straight
Rob
up.
Lowe
RL.
is first build. I think that is entirely fame and status based. He is objectively in the movie less. It is a James Spader protagonist.
Do you have a preferred performance in this?
I think James Spader is a way better actor. It's like unquestionable that he's more interesting to watch. There's also a scarcity of James Spader in the world. I feel like I've seen very little of him because he's only in...
I actually don't think I'd seen him at this age before.
He's in so few movies that I've actually not watched him that much in my life. Whereas I've seen Rob Lowe in dozens and dozens of TV episodes and whatever. So I don't have as much fun watching him in this.
Righto.
Okay. Where does this open? It's March. So I feel like this could have got
4.
Top 3. Okay. 4. Okay.
Number 1, film we haven't finished.
The Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October.
Is that, not
I
that
feel
many
like,
films.
have we done this weekend
There's
again?
not that many films that we haven't finished.
No. We just put it on for 20 minutes and never got back to it.
Oh, 50 minutes almost.
50?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
They've been hunting for a while.
Yeah. It's more like the Hunt for Green December. The Hunt for May December.
Hunt for May, December.
All right. What's next?
All right. John Patrick Stanley is the director.
Shanley. John Patrick Shanley.
Shanley. Excuse me.
So it's not Moonstruck.
Nope.
Okay. I know him. He's the guy who made Doubt. Okay, so it's not Moonstruck. It's not Doubt.
This is a classic 90s Hollywood leading pair.
I know. He has one other big movie. I'm just forgetting.
I've never heard of this.
This is after Moonstruck. So he won the Oscar for Moonstruck for the screenplay. So this would have been his big next thing.
It's about a hypochondriac who finds out he has 6 months to live.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
It's not Bill Murray.
So he quits his dead-end job and musters the courage to ask his coworker out on a date.
What the hell?
And is then hired to something.
Steve Martin?
Nope.
Is a comedy guy.
Yeah, but the top tier comedy guy, A-list comedy.
So Bill Murray, Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy.
The female lead seems to play multiple characters.
Michael Keaton?
The female lead.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who the man is. Top tier comedy guy.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, Michael Keaton.
He's a serious dramatic actor as well, not just a comedy guy.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Bruce Willis.
You might have said him already.
Travolta. Cage. I know I have no
The
idea.
defining movie star of the 90s. Across all genres.
What?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Meg Ryan.
All right. So this is not one of the Noras. Fuck, I don't know.
I'm going to give you the
It's not
the
Joe versus
tagline.
the Volcano.
Joe versus the volcano. Yeah.
John Patrick Shanley made that.
John Patrick Shanley made Joe versus the
That's
volcano.
really weird. I didn't know what that was about either. I know the name.
Yeah, it's a hypochondriac who finds out he has 6 months to live.
That's what Joe versus the Volcano is about.
Yeah. And he is hired to jump into a volcano by a mysterious visitor.
That's a weird premise for a film.
Yeah, it looks quite dreadful.
You know what? John Patrick Shanley always comes up with weird premises, though. This is the man who decided Jamie Dornan was going to identify as a bumblebee.
He's only directed 3 films.
Yeah. Wild Mountain Time, Moonstruck, and then he
Doubt.
wrote Doubt.
No, he directed Doubt.
Oh, he didn't direct Moonstruck, but he directed Doubt. Sorry. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. He's a very nice man.
Sure. Is he Irish?
Second generation Irish.
Second generation
The main role in Doubt and the primary male role in both Doubt and Wild Mountain Time were both originated by Brian F. O'Byrne on Broadway.
Oh, class.
He's a friend of Brian F. O'Byrne's, yeah. And therefore, we love him.
Okay, you won't get this one.
Yeah. Tell me what it is then.
This is House Party by Reginald Hudlin.
Yeah, I know what that is.
It got Christopher Reid, Christopher Martin, Martin Lawrence, Tish Campbell.
Yeah, sounds terrible.
Sure. If they get caught, it's all over. If they don't, it's just the beginning.
Great.
Okay, next up we got Bad Influence.
Cool.
Next we have, I think this won Best Picture this year. Films of 1990.
Goodfellas?
Nope.
So it's the Goodfellas year. Driving with Stacey.
Driving with Stacey.
Yep, it certainly did. It certainly
Indeed.
did.
What else do we got?
DMD.
Ooh, oopsie daisy. Okay. Next up is a film I haven't heard of. We're getting down into...
Yeah, let's leave it. Let's abandon this game.
It only goes to 10 anyway. Do you know Bruce Malmuth?
Nope.
Director?
Nope.
Do you know Steven Seagal?
I don't know any
Kelly
Steven Seagal.
LeBrock?
I won't be able to tell you any Steven Seagal.
William
movie.
Sadler?
Unless it's Under Siege, I won't know it.
No, it's Hard to Kill.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
And we got Madhouse, Born on the 4th of July, Glory, Revenge, and Roger and Me rounding out the top 11. For
That's
this
Michael
weekend.
Moore's big breakout. It's random.
Which one?
Documentary. Roger and Me.
Really?
That's a Michael Moore documentary.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, that's fun. To no one's surprise, Bad Influence has never been named in a Letterboxd top 4 by a famous person. However, there are 50 odd people on Letterboxd with it in their top 4.
Is it in the Criterion Closet?
I don't think it's in the Criterion Collection, no. Thank you for tuning in to our Bad Influence episode. We hope you had a good listen to this Bad Influence. We'll be back next week. And you can check out boypartypod.com and follow Boy Party Pod on Instagram.
Do not listen to Rob Lowe if he approaches you in Dublin City.
No. Don't listen to anything he says. Don't listen to any podcast appearances. Oh, sorry. He did a fucking Parks and Rec rewatch podcast. How sad is that? He's only...
Oh, no.
He's not even he's not even in the first 2 seasons, like... He was doing okay, Joshua Malin actually wasn't in the first 3 seasons of The West Wing either, so it actually is exactly the same. But
Sorry, he did a Parks and Rec or a West Wing?
he did a Parks and Rec rewatch podcast.
Has he shown up on the West Wing?
Yeah. Every West Wing actor appeared on the West Wing Weekly, with the exception of accused child molester Timothy Busfield.
Busfield.
Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.